Hi everyone, today I would like to talk about system resource usage, why it's important, why should you care. It's very important that your system doesn't use your CPU or memory or GPU in vain, like doing unnecessary stuff. It's very important to monitor your resource usage. There are many cases when monitoring the resource usage, people discovered some exploits, some vulnerabilities in some application, because when apparently something is doing nothing but in the background using a lot of memory and CPU, it's a sign that something is not right. There is something fishy there. Sometimes it might be a simple bug, another time it might be a vulnerability that is being currently exploited, and there is even a probability that you are being hacked. Another reason why it's important is because the less resources your system uses, the faster it runs, more responsive, more snappy, and preventing your hardware from overheating increases their lifetime. Today I want to talk specifically about resource usage in a Wayland composite, because your system resources can be used by different applications and your Wayland compositor should not be one of them. It should take as little and minimum resources as needed. So let's first have a look at the CPU usage in a Wayland compositor. For this test we will take my own compositor called Woodland compositor, which is a Wayland WL roots based compositor. So this is how you should check your CPU usage. There are many graphical ways, there are terminal based ways to check it. We will use the graphical one. So let's open the GNOME system monitor. Here we look for our Woodland compositor process. As we can see, it uses a bit over 1% of CPU, but this is because we have some mouse movement. If we stop moving the mouse, it should be 0.0. Okay, you can see 0.0. It's still moving up and down a little bit, but this is because I'm recording right now and the WF recorder is using the flag that deactivates the damage tracking. Damage tracking is a protocol that tracks the regions of the screen that needs to be redrawn, so it doesn't redraw the full screen all the time. That's how it saves even more resources. But if you record the screen and damage control is active, then your video can get messy if nothing is moving for a long time on the screen. So if I'm not recording, it stays at 0.0 all the time unless I move the mouse or do anything. So that's how an optimized compositor should behave. The CPU percentage should stay at 0.0 on idle when you do basically nothing on your system. And let's have a look at the graph. There is a spike whenever you open it for the first time. The graph itself also takes some CPU to draw the line, but ideally it should crawl on the bottom line. More important than the graph and the CPU percentage is to monitor the CPU temperature, because even if apparently your CPU percentage is low but your CPU is running hot, there is a problem somewhere. I will show you how you can check your CPU temperature. Let's open a terminal and we simply type the command sensors, hit enter, and here is our CPU. So the temperature is very low, so as we can see the 44 is the highest value here, and it's like nothing, like doing nothing. Actually, because I'm recording, it's over 40. But if I'm not recording, it stays below 40. It's usually 33, 34. In rare occasions, it reaches 40. That's how cool it should stay under normal circumstances. If it goes above 50, then you should check what it's doing. Okay, now let's talk about RAM usage. RAM is less important than CPU, but still, if an application uses too much RAM, it's still not good. It means either the application is buggy, or it's doing something hidden, or it leaks the memory, and if using that application for a long time, it can use up the entire memory and your system will freeze. Whenever the system runs out of memory, it just freezes, and then you can do nothing about it, only the hard reset. So let's check the RAM usage of my Wayland compositor. As you can see, it uses 103 megabytes. It's a bit high for a normal Wayland compositor. Usually normal Wayland compositors, they take about 40 megabytes of RAM. My RAM is higher, and the way you can tell it's an optimized compositor is that the initial RAM usage does not change very much during the normal computer usage. So if your compositor starts up and you see it uses 40 megabytes of RAM, it should stay about the same the entire session. Wherever you use it for a day, for 2 days without rebooting, it should stay around that same number, 40 megabytes. Because if it goes higher, it means there is a problem, there is a memory leak. When it comes to my compositor, it's a bit different. My compositor uses more memory and it can increase over time. And it's not a memory leak. I will explain why this happens. One of the reasons why the memory usage increases, it's because of the zooming. Whenever you zoom in, zoom out, the application's buffer resizes. The buffer grows bigger and accordingly it uses more RAM. Another reason it can increase the RAM usage is because my compositor includes a built-in minimal desktop environment with widgets. There are menus, there is a window list, there is a panel, there is an app launcher, and all these widgets, they take memory and they will grow their memory usage depending on the amount of items currently displayed in their list. For instance, let's take my app launcher. If there is only this amount of items, it will take less memory. If there is a larger amount of items displayed, it will take more memory, and so on. And now we will talk about the memory leakage. I did a comparison between 3 different Wayland compositors, which is my Woodland compositor, Sway compositor, and Wayfire compositor. But firstly, I would like to show you a quick test to see if an application does memory leak. The quickest way to find it out is to open and close that application many times in a row, for at least 10 times, and to monitor if the memory here increases. So right now it's 103.5 megabytes, and if I open and close an application and it doesn't increase, it means everything is good. So let's test it. I will use my menu for this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's check if the memory changes. As we can see, it's still 103.5 megabytes, which means the application didn't memory leak. But I would like to also show you some more advanced tests to discover if there is any memory leaks. So I used Valgrind to determine if there is any difference in memory leakage between my compositor and other well-known compositor. So I did a test of Sway, Wayfire and my compositor Woodland. I switched to TTY and I ran these three commands. First I test the Sway, then I test the Wayfire, and the last one was my Woodland compositor. So what these commands do? You run Sway with Valgrind and dump all the results to the Sway log. What I did, in each of the compositor I opened a few applications, I moved them around, I resized them, I closed them, and then I terminated the compositor cleanly. As a result, I got these three log files. These log files will show you if there were any memory leaks encountered. To be fair, this is not a runtime monitoring. This is more of a quick test to see how each individual compositor cleans up the resources on exit, on termination. So let's see the logs now. We are going to check the keywords definitely lost in all the three logs and see which log has more occurrences of the definitely lost. Definitely lost means there is some memory leakage. Not always guaranteed, but in most cases, yes. So let's do like this. We will look for definitely lost first in the Sway log, like this. Grep definitely lost Sway log. As we can see, there is a few of them. There is 9 occurrences. Now let's check the Wayfire log. So Wayfire has 10 occurrences of definitely lost. Also, the amount of bytes lost are larger and the blocks are considerably larger. Now let's have a look at my Woodland logs. As we can see, my Woodland log has 9 occurrences of definitely lost, the same as Sway. The blocks are slightly larger. The amount of bytes lost are almost the same, but unlike the previous compositors, I managed to also have 0 bytes and 0 blocks of definitely lost, which means It cleaned the resources 100%, no leftovers. If anyone is interested, we could even go in a deeper analysis. We could examine each log and see exactly what leaks, where does it occur, because there might be many false positives. But for this video I think that's it. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.